Even though it might seem like it when you're scrolling through Netflix for the millionth time, there is a ton of great content out there to watch. It's easy to wax poetic about the finest animes of yesteryear, but let's not forget that there's tons of great shows which had most, if not all, of their episodes created in the past decade. Of course, I respect the classics like Bleach, One Piece, and Fullmetal Alchemist, but let's give some of the newer series their time to shine. You might not have even realized how recent some of these hit shows are. It's no secret that here at CBR we love ourselves some Dragon Ball. There's the original Dragon Ball series, Dragon Ball Z, Dragon Ball Kai, and as much as I hate to admit it, Dragon Ball GT. Yeah, I acknowledge it exists, but let's not talk about it any more than we have to. You might think that after all these years, Goku might have run out of enemies to fight, but that's giving everyone's favorite Saiyan way too little credit. Sure, sometimes it requires the creation of a multiverse tournament of power, but Goku always finds someone to trade blows with one way or another. Now, as with any series that's gone on a long time, there will always be people that believe the older stuff is better, and honestly, I'm not saying I disagree. But the fact is that Dragon Ball Super is still an awesome show, and the fact that it manages to be good despite being a continuation of a show from 1986 is nothing short of incredible. Did Akira Toriyama make us wait over 30 years to see Goku and Frieza fight Jiren in an epic battle? Yeah, he did. Was it worth every second we spent suffering through GT to get to see possibly the best animated battle of all time? Yeah, it was. In fact, if anyone dares suggest Dragon Ball Super isn't worth watching, just show them this fight, right before you cut them out of your life forever for having such bad taste. Dragon Ball Super sought to answer the question, how many times can you watch one man punch things? The answer is a lot. But One Punch Man poses the question, how many times can you watch one man punch things one time? Answer is also a whole freaking lot. Honestly, give me some sick guitar riffs and epic battles and I'm a happy guy. It really is the simple things in life sometimes. Sure, Saitama might not have the gravity-defying hair or sultry eyes of your typical angsty anime hero, but who needs that when you have fists of, well, whatever Saitama's fists are made out of? There are a lot of reasons to love One Punch Man, but one of the reasons that stands out is because it's an interesting take on a classic anime concept. You've got a character who wants to be a strong fighter, which usually requires tons of battles, emotional moments, and again, plenty of guitar riffs. But in One Punch Man, most of that stuff happens off camera and in the first episode. Then you just got Saitama doing whatever he does best, punching stuff while trying to make ends meet financially and worrying about how to occupy his mind thanks to his incredible powers. It's a concept which could have been really boring, but instead managed to be incredible, at least for the first season. While the second season suffers from pacing problems, it's still definitely good enough that the series qualifies as one of the best animes from the past decade. Saitama can defeat any enemy with a single blow, but Deku, for My Hero Academia, well, he needs to try a little bit harder. The show takes place in a world where most people have some kind of superpower known as quirks. Deku wants desperately to be a hero, but unfortunately, he's powerless, and seems relegated to just being a hero enthusiast. That is until he meets the greatest hero of all time, and yes, that's an absolute fact, so don't even try to argue with me about that one. In addition to being the #1 hero, All Might is also a shining beacon of hope and the embodiment of what it truly means to be a hero. Now, this is an anime with a more typical hero's trajectory, as we watch Deku and his classmates learn how to use their powers, work together, and fight against the forces of evil. But something that makes this show so special is that it's surprisingly wholesome. Sure, the characters are constantly pummeling each other, but they also spend a surprising amount of time talking about their feelings and demonstrating care and concern for each other. Even the great All Might himself isn't too proud to fess up when he makes a mistake, and literally begs for forgiveness. Oh, All Might, we don't deserve you. Listen up, anime fans. If you want to make sure you don't miss out on the latest videos from CBR, you're gonna have to face down that pesky YouTube algorithm. Make sure you give this video a like. Click on that subscribe button and turn your notifications on, either from right here or in the settings menu if you're on your phone. Now let's get back to some of the best and most recent animes. To some people, it seemed like JoJo's Bizarre Adventure suddenly popped up overnight and was all anybody was talking about. But manga fans know that this series started appearing in Shonen Jump all the way back in 1987. There are a lot of things to love about JoJo, from the characters to the iconic battles and the epic poses. Although we're talking about the anime from the last decade here, let's not forget that the manga is one of the best-selling series in history, and has sold over 100 million copies. It started shortly after Dragon Ball, but didn't have the advantage of an accompanying anime, which could be why it didn't quite achieve the same notoriety at the time. But now that pretty much everybody under the sun has seen the anime, it's enjoying its time in the spotlight. Oh, and let's not pretend like the memes haven't helped get people watching. Even people who have never seen the show recognize these big buff boys. In case your familiarity with the show is only meme level, I'll fill you in a little bit. JoJo's Bizarre Adventure is about the Joestar family, whose members are destined to take down supernatural foes using unique abilities. The story split up into various parts following different members of the family. Everybody has their favorite characters, but we all know that the villainous Dio Brando is really just the best. Or at least that's what I tell myself to validate my own opinions. I'm not saying that being released on Netflix necessarily makes something good, but it does make it more accessible, which means more people have the chance to watch it. Even though their selection can be a bit stale at times, I have to give Netflix credit for the 7 Deadly Sins. On the surface, the show is a standard shonen anime, but I don't mean that in a bad way. The story's about the 7 deadly sins: wrath, envy, greed, sloth, lust, gluttony, and pride. They were once revered knights before being framed for a certain crime, and now they're considered traitors and outcasts. You know, pretty standard setup, and the characters are one shonen fans will find familiar as well. There's Meliodas, the kind-hearted, loyal blonde leader who's crazy powerful, and Bon, who represents the sin of greed and is also pretty much Greed from Fullmetal Alchemist. The show's a classic shonen, with many of the tropes and situations that fans of the genre know and love. No, it doesn't reinvent the wheel, but it doesn't need to in order to be entertaining. Give us shonen fans some great battles, emotional moments, and awesome music, and we are right as rain. The 7 Deadly Sins is a solid shonen, but now let's talk about the amazing Attack on Titan. In this fictional world, humans live in settlements surrounded by giant walls designed to stop massive titans from devouring them. Even during the 3-year hiatus, fans couldn't help but be emotionally invested in the stories of Eren Yeager, Mikasa Ackerman, and Armin Erlelt. Even though it's a fictional universe complete with giant rampaging monsters, its raw themes of war, loss, and duty feel real. It's a unique take on a dystopian world, and the characters are interested in things other than testing the limits of their own powers. Basically, I don't think it's a coincidence that the show has won a bunch of awards, including Animation of the Year in 2014, Best Director, Best Screenplay, and Best Music. Anime that takes place in terrifying realities filled with battles are a dime a dozen, but Attack on Titan manages to bring something new to the table. And unlike a lot of other shows, this one actually gets better as it goes on. Or at least it has for the first 3 seasons so far. Not that I'm eagerly awaiting the 4th and final one or anything. For fans of Dragon Ball, many things about Hunter x Hunter felt really familiar. You've got a little kid with a massive amount of power waiting to be unleashed, and warriors who manipulate a life force called Nen, which is very reminiscent of DBZ's Ki. Oh, and of course there are also tons of monsters and creatures who want to bring about the downfall of humanity, just for giggles. But far from feeling like a rip-off of Dragon Ball, Hunter x Hunter stands on its own merits. It's about a boy named Gon who grew up believing his parents had perished, only to discover that his father Ging is alive and working as an elite fighter known as a hunter. Gon wants to become a hunter just like him, and along the way he encounters other characters eager to boost their own skills. Some people aren't a fan of the earlier episodes, but once it gets to the part about the Chimera Ants and their king Meruem, pretty much everybody agrees it takes a sharp turn into Awesome Town. Imagine a virtual reality MMORPG that traps people inside with no way out. It sounds kind of like an episode of Black Mirror. The premise had the potential to be lame, but Sword Art Online is anything but. It kicks off with the first 10,000 people to take part in the game being trapped. And if they lose their lives in the game, they lose their lives in real life as well. Just like the Matrix. The only way out is through the 100 floors in the game, and escape means defeating the final boss. But Sword Art Online is more than just watching a bunch of characters doing a speed run through a video game. It takes an interesting look at the kind of society and sociological issues that would spring up under such circumstances. Of course, there are hardcore players, but what about all of the non-fighters and casuals? And if you thought living in a video game would be fun, this series exists to rid you of that notion, because pretty much every single situation ends up in some terrible tragedy or another. Seriously, the saddest moment in the show is pretty much Kirito's entire life in the game, but the show is still definitely worth watching. The anime Mob Psycho 100 tells the story of Shigeo Kageyama, a middle schooler nicknamed Mob. And no, not mob as in the mafia, but rather as in Mabu, meaning background character. You see, Mob doesn't really stand out. In fact, he's as inconspicuous as they come. But that's just a cover for the fact that he has incredible psychic powers that are just a strong emotion away from raging out of control. Mob wants to live a normal life, but he just can't seem to stay out of trouble. And if the style of this anime seems familiar, that's because it was created by One, who also created One Punch Man. And just like One Punch Man, this is definitely a great show worth your time, especially the second season. Psychopaths is another anime that could easily be confused with a Black Mirror plotline. And we're talking about the first 3 seasons, not the later ones, the good ones. It's set in a futuristic Japan where a network of psychometric scanners measure everyone's brain activity, which is just as creepy and invasive as it sounds. The assessment is called Psychopaths and calculates each person's likelihood of committing crimes. Actually, this definitely has a dash of 1984 by George Orwell mixed in too, because when someone's essentially found guilty of thought crime, they're tracked down and apprehended. Needless to say, this system creates a lot of ethical dilemmas, and the characters are forced to deal with them. A sci-fi cop show that's heavy on the drama, and the first season is fantastic. The second season is widely regarded as being subpar, but that's really a testament to just how strong this show started out. It's still definitely worth a watch, and it's not surprising that Crunchyroll named it one of the top 100 animes of the decade. If you're looking for an anime that's heavy on adventure and heavy on the episodes, you might want to check out Fairy Tail. It tells the story of Natsu Dragneel, a dragon slayer wizard, which is quite possibly the coolest title of all time. He explores the kingdom of Fior in search of his adoptive father, and on the way he forms a team with Lucy Heartfilia and others as they go on fun, magical adventures together. If you're looking for a dark, gritty anime, well, this isn't the one. This story's lighthearted and fun, but that's just part of the appeal. It has a massive cast of characters that all get their own time to shine. Even though it's a long series and can get rather formulaic at times, it always feels fresh and interesting, which is more than can be said for a lot of similar series. There are some animes out there with incredibly deep and meaningful plots, and Kill la Kill is not one of them. The majority of the action takes place at the fictional Honuji Academy, which is presided over by Student Council President Sotsuki Kiryuin. Love that name. The students all wear special Goku uniforms made of life fibers, which give them powers to use in battle. Transfer student Ryuko Matoi shakes things up with her scissor blade, which can cut these uniforms to ribbons, along with her sentient talking uniform named Senketsu. Ryuko is looking for whoever owns the other half of her blade and is behind the loss of her father. That's really all I can say without spoiling any of the twists and turns, but if this all sounds pretty ridiculous, well, that's because it is. There are tons of over-the-top battles with characters wearing limited clothing that everybody takes really seriously. But just how over-the-top everything is makes it really fun. It's a show that doesn't take itself too seriously and pokes fun at a lot of the tropes that exist in similar anime. It manages to combine creative and fun storytelling with a great soundtrack and animation, and it's no wonder that it's attracted so many fans. Also, man, that theme song, whew. If you're a fan of fighting animes a la Kill, you might also want to check out FateZero. It involves Holy Grail War, which is a contest in which 7 mages summon spirits to compete and earn the power of the Holy Grail, which grants a wish. Needless to say, this is a prize that everybody wants to get their mitts on, and the series explores just what the characters are willing to do to get it. It's definitely a show with a darker tone that doesn't skimp on the drama. It explores complex philosophies and themes and is definitely more than just a pile of cool action scenes. Although it does have plenty of those. FateZero has received rave reviews, and it deserves every last one of them. What if I told you that there's a great anime out there about cell phones? No, that doesn't grab your attention? Okay, well, how about a cell phone that allows you to send text messages back in time? Alright, that only sounds slightly better, so you're going to have to go ahead and trust me that Steins Gate is a great show. The tale kicks off with scientist Rintaro Okabe attending a conference on time travel, which, to be honest, sounds pretty awesome. He finds the body of a neuroscientist named Kiriso Makise and texts his pal Itaro Hashida about it. Later, he realizes that by sending that fateful text, he brought Kirisu back to life, and the message got to his friend before he actually sent it. Yeah, it's got a little bit of that timey-wimey confusing stuff going on, but the implications of this are pretty awesome. Steins Gate is a sci-fi thriller that definitely doesn't struggle from slow pacing. It's the kind of show that's easy to get sucked into because you'll constantly want to know what happens next, or in the past, or the future, depending on what part of the story you're seeing. Naruto Shippuden is one of those animes I don't even feel like I should have to explain. Come on, if you're watching a video about the best animes of the decade, you definitely know about Naruto Uzumaki already. Actually, if you were watching a video about the best anime of all time, you'd probably still recognize his name. Or if, you lived through any of the 2000s. Naruto is a sweet guy with a good heart who cares about his friends and dreams of becoming Hokage of his village. He takes his training seriously, and he embarks on plenty of epic battles, all accompanied by sick guitar riffs, of course. Naruto has an unrequited crush on Sakura, who only has highs for his frenemy Sasuke Uchiha. This show is about as classic shonen as you can get, and its characters fall neatly into the kind of stereotypes you'd expect. Naruto Shippuden features an improved animation style over the original series and has even more meaningful interactions and high-stakes battles. Come on, this is the show that gave us the infamous Naruto run, which, okay, maybe it's a little cringeworthy, but if you're an anime fan, you've probably done it at least once. It's okay to admit it. Although there has been a lot of amazing anime content from this past decade, for me, it's just impossible to beat seeing Goku getting in even bigger and badder fights. But I might just be a little bit biased. What's your pick for top anime of the past decade? Share it with us in the comments section below and then click on that subscribe button for more great videos from us here at CBR. As always, thanks a lot for watching.